Hi, welcome back to our class again. Today, we are going to discuss another interesting topic, Chapter 6, Strengths and Weaknesses. In this topic, strengths normally indicates your ability, capability, skills, resources, or preparation in the battle. However, strengths can also represent when everyone believes that is the trend, means that it will be the right things in that current reality situations. Conversely, weakness is a standard or method that has not existed yet. It might be unique or out of expectation decisions or trends. But anyway, generally, weakness is a tactic that you can't predict, but it may cause you to lose in the battle in one time if the tactic is not successful to use. So, in this chapter, we are going to see that how Sun Wu explained these two strategies and how it can be applied in business environment today. In beginning of the chapter, Sun Wu created an amazing theory, first mover advantages strategies. Sun Tzu said, those who arrive first at the battleground will have sufficient time to rest and prepare against the enemy. And those who arrive late at the battleground will have to rush into battle when they are already exhausted. In this theory, we can call it as arrive first theory. If you are the first to reach the destination, you can gain the advantages in choosing the strategic place to encamp and prepare to fight with your enemy. According to the 22 immutable laws of marketing, the first 6 chapters discuss about the first concept. It said that it is better to be first than it is to be better. So, nothing is better than first. It's also described that if you can't be first in a category, you need to set up another new category that you can be first in. In marketing, it is not a matter of products, it is a matter of perceptions. It is better to be first in the mind than to be first in the marketplace. It is because the consumer always trusts the first or the best only. So, the most powerful concept in marketing is owning a words in the prospect's mind. Two companies cannot own the same words in the prospect's mind. For example, when we talk about I'm loving it, indirectly, we will link it to McDonald's. Or when we talk about Nike, the phrase just do it or the tick symbol will pop up in our mind. That is what we call the power of first perceptions. Now, let's discuss a bit about the first mover advantages ideas, which is similar with the Sun Wu arrive first theory. It also similar to another phrase, the early bird gets the worm. In business, being the first company to sell a new product may provide long-lasting benefits or competitive advantages. Most researchers use the term first mover to refer the first company to enter a market, not the first company to develop a product. First movers are also called market pioneers. The benefit of pioneering may result in market dominance and higher than average profitability over time. For example, Amazon.com was the first major online bookstore, grabs an opportunity start first then later entrants like established books retailers, Barnes and Noble, and Bordeaux. They were quickly to develop their own websites. However, to maintain their first mover advantage and competitive advantages, Amazon.com had used these two ways by partnering with Bordeaux and continuing to extend their product offering into apparel, electronics, toys, and housewares. This negated any customer preference for purchasing for Barnes and Noble by becoming a much larger one-stop shopping destination. Company strategists need to decide if they are likely to benefit from being first or whether it would be better to wait and follow the leader. Another great successful first mover example is Coca-Cola or Coke. Coke was invented in 1896 by John Pemberton. When Caleb Brandon invented Pepsi-Cola 13 years later, Coke was already selling 1 million gallons per year. Coca-Cola's competitors have been unable to redefine the market, leaving Coca-Cola on top for over 100 years. For over 100 years, Pepsi has been trying to play catch up in the cola beverage market. But first mover Coca-Cola continues to dominate the market. In 2014, the Coca-Cola brand was valued at $79 billion, one of the most valuable companies in the world. Moreover, there are two stages to develop first mover advantages. First, a company must have an opportunity to be first at some things, either through skill or luck. Second, the firm must be able to capture the benefits of being first. In the award-winning article, Professor from Stanford University described the three benefits of being first: technology leadership, control of resources, and buyer switching costs. First, technology leadership. Early entrants can lead other companies in their understanding and use of technology in ways that are hard for later entrants to copy. One of the ways this can happen is that the early entrants learns how to reduce the cost of producing a product through accumulated experience in producing it, unless later entrants can learn how to produce at lower costs faster than the first entrants did. The first entrant will have a cost advantage. However, researchers have found that in most industries, it is relatively easy for lateral entrants to learn new technology quickly and overcome the lead held by the first mover firms. Another way that a first mover may benefit from technology leadership is by applying for patents for their technology to try to prevent other companies from copying it. Patents appear to protect first mover advantages in some industries, such as pharmaceuticals or IT-related fields. In many industries, later entrants can invent their own technology quickly enough so that the first mover's patent protections does not matter. A stronger advantage from technology leadership arises when the first mover can establish their product as the industry standard, making it more difficult for followers to gain customer acceptance. The second type of first mover benefit is the ability to control a resource necessary for the business. That is better than resources later entrants must use. For example, the first company to open a new types of restaurant in town may obtain the best locations. This is considered to be one of the advantages exploited by Walmart, when they were the first to locate discount stores in small towns. Other resources that a first entrant may be able to control includes a supply of raw materials needed to make the product, or access to shelf space at the supermarkets. First mover firms also have the opportunity to build resources that may discourage entry by other companies. For example, the first mover may increase production capacity or broaden their product line, signaling that there is not enough room for followers to enter and profit. The third types of benefits the first mover may enjoy comes from buyer switching costs. If it is costly or inconvenient for a consumer to switch to a new brand, the first company to gain the consumer will have an advantage. Switching costs include adapting to a new product and penalties associated with breaking a long-term contract, especially for consumer products. The first mover has the opportunity to shape consumer preferences. The first company to offer a product of acceptable quality may earn brand loyalty. Satisfied consumers tend to not spend time seeking information about other products and tend to avoid the risk of being dissatisfied if they switch. The pioneering brands in many product categories, such as Coca-Cola soft drinks and Kleenex facial tissues, often dominated their markets for a long time. This brand preference appeared to be more important for products purchased by consumers than products purchased by businesses. Businesses buy products in larger volume and have more incentive to search for information about lower cost options. So, these are the several reasons why this benefit may develop. But research has shown that being the first mover does not always provide advantages. Sometimes, there are even first mover disadvantages, where companies that enter a market later can achieve superior results to those attained by the first mover firms. Some researchers believe that in many industries, companies entering later can overcome these advantages. Sometimes, there are even first mover disadvantages or advantages enjoyed by companies who enter later. For example, the first entrants may invest heavily in attracting customers to try new types of products. Later entrants will benefit from informed buyers without having to spend as much on education. Later entrants may be able to avoid mistakes made by the first mover. If first mover become complacent, later entrants may take advantage of changing customer needs. As the internet continues to develop, technology companies find themselves especially susceptible to second or later mover success. Follower companies are reverse engineering many new products to develop competing products either faster or cheaper, negating much of the first mover advantage. Late entrants are sometimes able to access a market needs that will replace what is currently being offered. This takes place when the first mover does not adapt or see the change in the customer needs, but also when a competitor develops a better, more efficient, and sometimes less expensive products or services. For example, Xiaomi. It is the late entrance in the smartphone industry. To attract the consumers, it started to play the games with different marketing strategies. They are the first company who tried to use online as the platform to sell their products with the limited purchasing time. It also offered the high-quality product with the affordable price to the consumers if compared to the market leaders and competitors. With the good team support and the great marketing strategies, within 3 years, Xiaomi has become one of the key players in this industry and become the third largest smartphone maker in the world after the Samsung and Apple. It's really marvelous. So, remember that late entrants also have their successful day. Next, Sun Tzu said that the person adept in warfare seeks to control and manipulate his enemy instead of being controlled and manipulated. As Sun Tzu said, if you control the battle situations and overall resources in the warfare, you can easily defeat your enemy. Imagine if you can control your enemy's ground and food, control their raw material or resources, or cut off their supply, do you think they can survive? Do you need to fight with them again? They will surrender themselves directly once they all start to be starved. However, if all those are controlled and manipulated by your competitors, how are you going to survive? Same like in today's business environment, if your company can manipulate and control the resources, technology, financial, or raw material, normally it will be easier for you to penetrate the market. They all have to depend on you. However, in contrast, if you are controlled by them, you will need to rely on them and whatever you are planning and decision making all have to follow their directions. It is really suffering. So, like Apple and Samsung, it is no secret that Apple and Samsung have a love-hate relationship. Apple is one of Samsung's bigger customers for processor and memory chips. Apple remains critically dependent on Samsung. The microprocessor brands that control iPods, iPhones, and iPads are Samsung built. And some new iPads still use Samsung screens according to examinations of the devices by industry analysts. Samsung is the world's biggest maker of some of the most sophisticated parts that Apple crafts, such as processor, memory, and high-resolution screens. Apple also has more than a half-decade invested in working with Samsung to build custom chips. Replicating that elsewhere is doubting. Since Apple launched their mobile device lineup in 2007, Samsung has been providing processors, with the Cupertino company taking full advantage of Samsung's capacity, marking mutual success. But the two firms compete directly in the mobile phone market and have spent the better part of the past 2 years suing and counter-suing over the look, feel, and features of their gadgets. They were ideal partners a decade ago, when the two didn't really compete. Then Samsung started rolling out smartphones that today eclipse the iPhones in unique shapes. In the 2013s, Apple executives have expressed concern that their dependence on Samsung limits Apple's ability to control its destiny by constricting Apple's negotiating power and ability to use different technologies. The agreement between Apple and Samsung for the production of mobile processors for the iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch is due to expire in 2015. In 2012, Apple shipped about 226 million processors in devices such as the iPad and iPhones, representing a 13.5% market share. However, in mid-2012, because of a patent conflict relationship between the two companies, their relationship has deteriorated to such an extent that the confrontations have forced Apple to find a new manufacturer for processors in its devices. In August 2012, Samsung was court-ordered to pay $1.05 billion in damages to the global IT giant for illegally copying some elements of the iPhone and iPad in its Galaxy S series smartphones. Samsung pushed for a retrial, but was rejected on December of 2012 by the California judge handling the case. Samsung generated $8.2 billion in revenue through its semiconductor business during the 2012. Apple's iPod, iPhone, and iPad making up about 81% of processors Samsung made in 2012. According to DG Times research, as Android devices will continue to power more devices, Samsung's processor orders are slated to grow more than 36% next year. And by 2014, Samsung's capacity for on-brand devices will be up 270% compared to 2012, overtaking Intel as the largest supplier of application processors. The potential loss of Apple's application processor orders is unlikely to have a significant impact on Samsung Logic's IC operations. According to the research, Samsung's in-house capacity for application processors currently fulfills only about 30% of the total demands for the firm's own-brand smartphones and tablets, while the majority of Samsung application processor production capacity satisfies demand for Apple's iPhone and iPad devices. If Apple withdraws its order, Samsung will have more available capacity to produce chips for its branded mobile devices. Samsung usually uses its processor in its high-end product including the Galaxy S series and Note series, and uses various application processors foundries products from Qualcomm, Nvidia, Broadcom, ST Ericsson, and Marvell for its other low-range products. Another business example is Phison Electronics Corporation from Taiwan. The global leader in flash storage solution company started with the world's first single-chip USB flash drive IC. Phison is now a market leader in non-flash controllers and applications including USB, SD, eMMC, PATA, and SATA. In 2010, the company shipped over 500 million controllers worldwide and topped $10 billion in sales revenues. Phison also offers system and OEM services for major retail brands such as Kingston Technology and Toshiba. As non-flash is fast-tracking into a new phase of consumer, industrial, and enterprise applications, Phison continues its innovation on emerging technologies such as embedded storage, solid-state drive, and security products. Phison's exceptional engineering strengths enable the company to be a major player in industry standard setting associations. They are a founder of Open Non-Flash Interface Group and a board of SD associations. Phison's competitive edge consists of outstanding corporate strategies, highly competent R&D teams, leading technologies, efficient and ISO certified product development process, strong patent portfolio, complete marketing strategy, competitive niche product, and excellent customer support. Whether it is IC design, system integration, or manufacturing, their total solution package can satisfy the most demanding customers. This enables them to penetrate the market in North America, Europe, Japan, China, Taiwan, and elsewhere in the world. To be continuing leading and controlling in this industry, they're always pushing new ideas and thinking add value for the end user. Phison also keeps on supplying additional features to their flash products to lead the industry. Whenever there is hunger for high-speed data storage solution, they deliver. They always keep innovations, efficiency, and ultimate quality in mind to satisfy the ever-increasing demand of the data storage market. Control the technology and resources, then you can lead the markets. There is a reason why they are so successful. Following another theory, Sun Tzu said that he could cause his enemy to arrive on his own accord by luring him with advantages. He could also deter his enemy from coming by creating dangers and harm. Sun Tzu highlighted the two important elements here, their advantages and dangers. According to him, it must examine truly. You may ask why it is necessary for you to attract your enemy to come and fight with you. Wouldn't it be better if they don't come? How can they bring the benefits to you? So, according to Sun Tzu, if you can't attract your enemies to come and cooperate or fight with you, means that you are no value to them. Or in simple words, you are nothing to them. So, it is better that they come either cooperate with you or fight with you. Don't think that enemies are always bad people or people that will harm. Sometimes they might bring benefits to you, like you can cooperate with them to create a win-win situations in strategic alliance. For example, Volvo, Renault, and Peugeot formed an alliance to make engines for their large car models because none of them have enough engines to operate their own engine plants economically. Alliances may utilize dealer network for joint promotions of products, thereby economizing on distribution costs and improving access to customers. For example, Haagen-Dazs and Nestle created an alliance to distribute Haagen-Dazs ice cream and Nestle frozen desserts through the same distribution channel and use the same display cases in retail stores. the alliance sought to reduce distribution costs and expand market for the two products. In contrary, if your competitors don't take any actions to fight you or initiative to request cooperating with you, it might mean that you are not valued to them and that you don't bring any threats to them as well. So, as Sun Tzu said, enemy can be varied. Sometimes enemy might help you to overcome the difficulties. Sometimes enemy might cooperate with you to gain benefit, or sometimes enemy might bring the advantages to you. Thus, in today's business world, fighting alone is the past tense. You need a team or support to help you to become successful. Most of the time, they are considered as your business enemies, but they truly can provide you the conveniences in financial, resources, raw material, information, or etc. For example, if a banker does not offer you the lowest rate or better capital loan, how are you going to sustain? Or if the suppliers don't provide you the better low price, how you are going to gain good profit margin? If there are no competitors in the markets, how are you going to know the better quality products? So, advantages or harm depends on the competition's relationships. I hope that you all can understand today's theories. In the next class, we will continue with other theories in Chapter 6. See you. Thanks.